Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Factorio Fixit. My name's Negative and let's get cracking. Today we're going to start this episode off with a bang. Whoop, wrong button, wrong button, wrong button. This is Colonel Will's factory. This is the Megabase. And as you can see, he had 8 rockets queued up and ready to go. Now, you may notice up in the top right hand corner that this is running like a one-legged man. It is quite lumpy on my poor computer, 20 frames per second. Oh yes, 8 rocket launchers. Now the reason I'm doing this is because I want to see what this factory is like going flat out. Oh yeah, look at that. Take a screenshot of that. So, what are we going to look at? Well, obviously this factory isn't going to require much fixing. I think for the most part it's going to be okay. But what I'm waiting for is just to see that these silos will start to load again. Okay, closing, closing, closing. Off they go. Rightio, so that's great news. We've got these things started again. And what that's going to mean is the production lines are going to start to run. Now we're going to run backwards through the factory, and I'm just going to show you a little bit about the factory as a whole. Now this here is the rocket fuel department. Basically he's got this here, and this runs off several assembly lines that provide the solid fuel. Now the solid fuel and the plastic, if I remember correctly, aha, here we go. There we go. So this here is a little switch, in effect. It's a little valve that says, okay, if we've got less than 500 petroleum, we're going to make more petroleum gas. So that's what all this thing is here, and it's controlled just by this one little valve. And this is if it has greater than 1,000, it's going to work. So basically it controls where the oil is sent to, so that you don't have uneven production at all, ever, hopefully. Now as you can see, the oil build is quite sizable. The factory, yeah, we're starting to see a little bit more production out of it. I'll be interested to see where it fetches up after we get it up to full speed. Something interesting to note is that when you start losing frames as hard as this, basically you're playing in 1/3 time. So if you invest an hour into this factory, you've only actually played 20 minutes. Something interesting to consider. So these are all working away. It looks like Will could actually hold a few more of these silos, because the production speed, you can see that that line has now stopped. So this is the rocket control units. Now these take processing units and speed modules, and that's a fairly expensive thing. Like processing units take, I think it was 20. There you go, 20 electronic circuits, 2 advanced circuits and some sulfuric. And the speed module ones are 5 advanced and 5 electronics. So you end up using quite a lot of resources to get this to run. Now all of these are now running. It's good. Now where are the other things? Now this is the concept after the main bus. I'm sure everyone's familiar with the main bus. This is the production bus. Now what's a production bus? It is a combination of several high volume lines, and everything is done on site. So you'll see here we've got 4 for steel, 4 for electronic circuits, and 4 for copper. Over here we've got 8 for iron. Now the iron runs into both the accumulators. This is the low density structures, so it's taking steel, copper and a little bit of plastic. So that's that line now is starting to move quite nicely. Down here we've also got solar panels. With a decent sized factory you need quite a tanky solar panel build, which I find quite interesting because you can see the size of that there. It's quite big. We've got bots. We've got 8,000 construction bots and 7,200 of the logistics bots just waiting to be deployed should they be required. So this is a Skynet build, so robots building robots. A bit of a modular factory down here that builds everything else. And then we move into some of the other stuff. Now this is gear wheel manufacturing, belts, inserters, you name it. Now you may notice that this is a burner inserter. The reason Will has burner inserters is because he uses them for his power plant. This this factory is, whoop, that's the wrong button. This factory is run completely off steam engines. So you can see that it's good for 300 megawatts right now. He's got 3.7 of them. I'm sure you can do the maths. Then we've got a concrete build down here, which his concrete build is quite puny actually compared to mine, which I find amusing. Looks like he's got 370,000 of it. Wow, it's a fair bit saved up. So these are all the smelters now, and what I want to do is actually just move back over and have a look at the green circuits, because that's fairly impressive. Oh wow, that's a few green circuits. So this is the copper production bus. It comes from the smelters and then goes direct. 50% comes into the green circuits. Now the green circuits is running at 6.1-ish. Yep, 6.7k per minute. So that's 6,700 green circuits every minute is being chewed out of this thing. As you can see, it has a really nice, really big appetite for copper, and it punches them out at quite a good rate. Now, something of interest is that Will has never stopped stockpiling oil, and this is an RSO thing. You can see he's got 275,000 barrels of crude oil just waiting to go. Wow, that's 14k purple artifacts right there. So that is basically the factory. We're going to go down and have a look at the stations right now. As I said, all of this is run off steam power, and part of that decision is using a coal-fired smelter system so that he doesn't have to pay the power cost for electric furnaces. That does, of course, cost him in module use because he can't use modules. Now here's a 262 lobbing up to the station with 4,200. And you can see that it unloads at a great rate of knots. It's kind of going at 100, 200 a tick until it gets unbalanced, and then it obviously slows down. So this is the unloading. That's 6.5k. So Will only runs on the 2 stations. However, 2 stations at 262, you know, theoretically you can have 18k sitting in a station being unloaded. That's a lot of ore. Then again, when you have a really big base, you need a lot of ore. Now, this is rail yard storage down here. So these are sheds for trains that aren't being used. Over here. Now this, Will was talking to me about this the other day, and let's go cover it very quickly. This is his concrete solution. For those that have watched me and mine, I have one giant train that's good for 105k concrete, Will's got a different solution. He's got the 4 trains sitting here waiting. They've each got 12k in them. And what he does, right, is he throws down a station called Works C whatever. Okay? So he's got 5 of them. Works C1 through 5. So he'll throw down the station, Works C1. It'll call this train to him. He unloads the train, sends it back, and then goes about laying his 12k of concrete. Once he's done that, he moves on, does the next one, yada yada yada. So let's have a look here. Let's see if we can find a PAX train. So we see we've got the 2 engineering trains. What else have we got? This is the rail yard. Because right now, what we're going to do is for the last 10 minutes, we're going to go on a journey, a rail journey. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so this is the PAX base. Because that's max zoom out, right? I can't fit the world on. You can see up here, this is the size of the world. You can see that the lines extend quite a long way. And this is the thing about RSO, right? Is that when you start to move further and further away from the spawn point, you get increases in your richness. So out up here, for example, right, this is a power plant. So we might go here and actually have a look at the power plant. Got some mining happening there, a little bit of mining happening here. Something interesting that Will's going to be doing is he's going to be putting in a halfway house or a halfway base. And basically the halfway base is going to allow him to remotely control things. So as you can see, all this is where the action is right now. So you can see he's mining out quite a bit of stuff. To come all the way out here, forget something, and then go all the way back, you know, way down here to the base, that takes several minutes. So what he's planning to do is somewhere put in like a halfway base and then continue to explore. So let's have a look. Let's go to the PAX coal bunker. So I think that'll be cool. Have a quick look at the production stats. Yeah, they're holding stable. This seems like to be the max max speed. Wow, that rendering need, you can see 19 frames a second. Ouch. Now you may notice all these walls everywhere. Now these walls have a very, very sensible use. They're to keep Will off the tracks, because he keeps getting run over by trains. You can see here this is going to stop us because we've got this this train running through the junction right now. Actually, that should be a chain signal right there. Am I quick enough? Go. That should have been a chain signal because that rail crosses there, and you notice that I was waiting across a junction. That's bad. You can see that that's going to let that train through, even though I haven't completely cleared the crossing yet. And this one's going to wait for us because we're moving nice and quick. Okay, off we go to the south. Now, what does Will have planned? I have no freaking idea. He has been working on this base for 428 hours. And I have no idea what the end goal is. Like, I'm not sure if he's going for 1 rocket defense a minute, if he's aiming for a certain resource amount. I don't know. I just don't know, because he's got obviously a lot of time invested in this. He's got a lot of technology in it as well. This base has pioneered a lot of things. Firstly, large scale logistics. It's kind of, this is one of the first bases to ever be that kind of next level. Now this is one of the nice things about the 4-lane train system, is you can overtake slower trains. So right now we've got an overtake of, you know, well, 120 kilometers an hour. So we've just gone shooting past that freight train. Now this coal bunker, it holds 1.2, I think, or 2.4 million coal. And I've no idea. Oh, here it is. It's coming up here. It's going to be all this rail here. I betcha. You can see that there's actually a train. It looks like this train's on the way in. Now this is one of the only times you'll see solar in Will's base. He uses solar to run a radar. And that's the only time he's permitting himself to use solar in this base. Okay, here we are at the pack station. Let's go have a quick look at the coal bunker. Now I've never seen this, so this is going to be interesting. Oh, okay, so we've got there's 8, 10, 12 lane rebalancer coming over into, yeah, okay, just a simple loading station. Well, this could actually have been a little bit larger had he wanted to. He could have backed this up a little bit and used 2 boxes. Apparently he thought this was big enough. So you can see 141's running. These would be running where? Power plant A, B, C, and back to the load. See, so it goes load A, load B, load C. Very nice. So basically all he does, right, is he sends his big bulk carriers, the 262s, into the coal bunker. So it'll run to the coal, come into the coal bunker, get unloaded, balanced, and back into these smaller logistics, these smaller freight trains, and then return to the main base. So let's jump the PAX train and head off again. So obviously coal is a huge thing when you're not using solar power. Now I want to go and have a look at the power station. Power plant A, run. Alrighty, off we go. Actually, something that would be really nice is an estimated travel time. If, you know, somewhere in this it said, oh, you have, you know, this much time remaining until your destination. I reckon that'd be pretty cool. Now you'll notice that Will's sent 245 rockets so far. Now, you may remember that originally Will was making 1 rocket defense for every follower he got on Twitch. He switched that into launching 1 rocket and promptly run out of people to send rockets for. So right now he's run out of ideas, I think, in that regard. But it was a really nice thing because the rocket defenses were expensive. Now how far away are we? We are freaking miles. So we're going to come all the way up here. Past the main base. Oh man, this could take a little while. Let's have a look, right? You see he's had some resource crises. You see the base has only really just ticked on in the last 5 hours, or 3 or 4 hours actually. And you can see actually that the production of copper coil has dropped off remarkably. Copper plate has got a little bit, up and down. The iron plate did have a big kick there for a little while. Circuits have been pretty stable. There seems to be a little bit of a trend down. The issue is that this just eats resources so fast. You know, you've got, well, over the last hour, right? He's burnt, okay, 738k copper. He's burnt 501 iron plate. Okay, so when you're looking at these numbers, this is what he has mined. He's had to mine this in the last hour. As you can see, he's running at about 9k, 9 to 10k per minute. So he's got a little bit of spare buffer there, at least for the iron. For the copper though, he's negative right now. And something we're going to see happen is that the base will just eat everything. And getting it started again is also a bit of an issue because it is so large and there's so much stuff. It has a lot of inertia. So this is one of the power plants. Now the big one up north has over 1200, but we're not going to go there because that's too far away. It'll take us a couple of minutes. So, as you can see, quite a lot of stuff. So this seems to be an old station that's now defunct, and this is a newer station that's been put in to handle the smaller 141 intermediate freight carriers. Let's go have a quick look. Oh, it seems like he's splitting this off as well, sending it back to the smelter. Ah, there you go. So that is how this works. Now, consumption wise, you can see he's burning about 1.2 coal per minute, and that's to run everything, because the coal gets used for plastic, yes, but it's also being used to run all the furnaces, run the power plant, run everything. So that has been the Megabase, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining me. If you'd like to see more of this, Will streams it very often. He's live most nights, and you can go check him out on Twitch. The link will be in the description, so feel free to go give him a follow. He also was a great help to me on my Break the Game save. He really got us going to a flying start there. So go check him out, support him. He's a great guy, and he has a really, really bad Factorio addiction.